Hi, and welcome to the Thriving and Surviving podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Markson, and I'm a mum, a wife, an entrepreneur, a coach, and most importantly, I'm someone that loves to make waves, break stigmas, and challenge beliefs. Think of this podcast as a wine and cheese night with your besties, sharing your deepest and darkest thoughts and struggles, but also learning a thing or two. So whether you're thriving or just surviving, this podcast is here to enlighten you, heighten you, and most certainly brighten you. So let's dive right in, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the first episode of season 5 of the Thriving and Surviving podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Markson, and this first episode is going to just basically be bringing you up to speed because I kind of did drop off the face of the earth a little bit there. A lot has happened, so much. So I relocated, so I moved from Townsville to Brisbane, which was an experience, let me tell you, from the removalists, like that process alone. It is so expensive to move your furniture just interstate. It was thousands and they still lost things. And I actually ended up still doing majority of the packing, which was quite the workout. But finally got here, bought a house in Townsville for the girls, and I sold the house in Brisbane after doing so much work, finishing off those renovations. I learnt so much. I also learned I don't really enjoy flipping houses and doing trades and project managing at all. So got a good price for it, which was amazing. Coming back to Townsville where, I've got a bit more family support, everything is cheaper. I've had a lot of people asking me questions about, relocating and what happened with Tommy, like the girl's dad. And look, when I made the decision to relocate, we hadn't heard from him in over 5 months. He'd had no contact with the girls and I. So I was like, look, I need to just stop waiting around and just make decisions that look after the girls and myself. So since we've moved, I've taken them back to Brisbane twice already where they've spent some time with him, and now he is, regularly FaceTiming. The girls regularly FaceTime him. So it's actually kind of been better, to be honest, since we've moved in that space. I was very nervous about how Callie was going to handle the change. For those that aren't in the loop, we've gone through all of the autism screenings with her, which did make a lot of sense. So it was going to be a lot of change, not just, a new school, it's a new house. And then in the process of us relocating, I ended up in a new relationship, which I will touch on a little bit, I will touch on. But I was really nervous about just there being so many changes for Callie, but she's honestly handled it like an absolute boss. I'm so proud of her. I, on the other hand, it was a lot of change for me. I did transfer with the fire department, and then obviously, my coaching, I can do that anywhere in the world. So that wasn't a transition. But after going through all of the screening process with Callie and just how much of myself I see in her, I actually went through the process of getting myself assessed for, it was a general screen. They look for everything, but I was most curious about, autism. I do already have, I already medicated for ADHD, but it's just, I felt like there was more there. Anyway, I went through that process and it did come back that like mother, like daughter, which it was validating and I expected it, yet I was still somehow surprised. But, the psychologist said I have been in therapy since I was a teenager, but I've built a lot of tools to manage. And she said, look, you score ridiculously high in masking, which does make sense because I feel like a bit of a chameleon. I just feel like I can adapt to most social settings. I've got a wide range of friends because I tend to just mimic, I suppose, environments that I'm in. So I slot into a lot of different friend groups for that reason. And I have always found it very prominent when I date, because I feel like I can't help but kind of mirror what like the other person is saying or what they're looking for. So I don't like lie and say, yeah, I'm into extreme sports or whatever, but I don't know, I'm quite good at reading people, and I feel like I tend to, I'll say, tweak myself to appeal to what I feel like they're looking for. So, and it always confused me, because I was like, why do you keep doing that? So I don't know, there was a lot of things. It was a, 18-page report pulling apart my whole personality, but it was a very interesting read. And the reason why was I just wanted more of a diagnosis to be able to apply it to my therapy, because I'm quite self-aware. I really enjoy learning about myself and my body, and I feel like it was just another avenue for me to understand myself better, which it has been. So that was a whole journey in itself. I'm focusing a lot on coaching now. I'm looking at expanding into that space. It is where my passion lies. It's what brings me the most joy. And I feel like since I slowed down a little bit last year, I kind of had an opportunity to just check in and see where I felt with everything, and to just ground myself and recenter, and it's definitely the direction that I want to go in. So I'm setting things up. I'm doing all of the things that I'd been putting off, and, really getting things in the mix there, which has been really exciting. I also released an album. Through my divorce, I was writing a lot of songs. I feel like it was my outlet. And then, so when you listen to the album, I'm not singing these songs. I am purely a writer. So I had them sung I just did the music and the lyrics. But it has been so therapeutic to be able to listen to them back and just crank it. It just hits different when you're screaming your lungs out to a song that obviously it goes beyond just like making me feel seen, because it is my feelings. But I've really enjoyed that. I feel like a lot of mums in particular that are going through what I went through are going to hear these songs and relate, and hopefully make them feel seen. So I decided to just publish the album. It's called Unmarried. It's on Spotify. I think it's posted everywhere now. Check it out. Have a listen. I definitely wrote them not expecting the world to ever hear them. I'm very vulnerable in them, but I'm actually quite proud of them. I feel like some killer lyrics. So yeah, I've pushed it out live, interested to know people's thoughts. A little bit of a tangent, but I feel like that may potentially be the ADHD coming through, where I get an idea, which is probably how this podcast started, is that I get an idea and then I just run with it. And that was me with writing songs. I'm not sure if I'll keep writing. I might. I've still got a few more that I haven't released that are sort of like, now that I'm in this different era, that I've been writing. So who knows? I might do a second album that doesn't make me sound like just being super salty like Taylor Swift writing about her exes. But look, it is live. Interested to know your thoughts. But then, as I mentioned, new relationships. So the next episode, I actually got Ben to jump on, and we just kind of canvassed like how that even unfolded. So I won't go too much into it, but I have known Ben since I was 18, which makes it a lot easier when we've already got a pre-established relationship, because any single mum knows dating is near impossible. Look, you don't want to have people around your kids, but when you've got 100% care, where is that room to sort of date? And to be honest, dating was not a huge priority for me. I was so busy with the house and busy with the kids. So yeah, it wasn't really on the radar. It was just Ben just happened to slide into my DMs, and then here we are. But yeah, it definitely wasn't something that I was expecting. So yeah, it's been a huge change, but for the better. Like, he's been very helpful, obviously, like with, me relocating and setting up somewhere new, which is always terrifying. I do have some friends here, but it is still quite isolating, and mum life in itself, I feel, is quite isolating. So this was just this extra layer on top where, all my girlfriends in Brisbane are having girls' nights, and I'm just kind of watching them on the social stories rather than being a part of them, which sometimes I couldn't attend anyway, but it's different not being able to and then just being so far away. So big changes. This podcast series is going to be a mix. It's going to be the sprinkle, like life updates and little bits and pieces that I have going on, but I have some amazing interviews lined up that I'm really excited about. And it's with, women in different fields sharing their thoughts, their expertise, all on like very juicy women topics of conversation. So like, I'm very excited to be releasing those and sharing them with you through the season. The season is officially live. I'm going to be dropping one episode a fortnight. I had to be realistic with myself. I would love to drop one a week. I would. But with the amount I have going on between the girls and coaching, and then I'm still obviously at the fire department as well, doing some shifts there, I just figured I'm going to be more conscious at being realistic. So we're going to be doing one a fortnight, launching from the 15th of June, which if you're listening, that is today. But yeah, welcome back for those of that you've been in other seasons. Seasons 4 kind of went like a little bit haywire is not the word, but we started strong, and then everything got so chaotic with the divorce and the house that I just couldn't stay on top of it. But things are settled. Life is flowing far better. So I'm excited for season 5, and I'm so excited to have you along for the ride.